Hey, hello everybody, this is Tamid and welcome to the Tamid Fluency Academy. In today's video, I want to talk the verbs that can mean changes.
Talk about, man. Sorry guys. Talk about.
But before we rock this boat, I'd like to ask you to do that thing you do. Subscribe the channel, like this video, and turn on the bell. So this is not a toy video because this video is gonna take you definitely to another mindset and think like a C1 speaker. We have learned that some verbs can be both stative and dynamic, but you can be sure that the meaning of these verbs can really change according to the situation and context. I am gonna call these verbs organic verbs. Obviously, you won't find this term anywhere because this is how I see these verbs. They change according to the context in the situation. For example, let's pick up the verb to have. Obviously, this verb means that you own something, you possess something. It is a stative verb. You can say, I have a beautiful apartment, but when it comes to action, experiencing or consuming something, that will all change. Like in the sentence, she is having breakfast with her boss. And in that case, it is a dynamic situation. Now, let's think about the verb to think. When you express your opinions, your beliefs, and then you can say, for example, I think that this is a great idea. But when the action is processing, you can say, I'm thinking about moving to Florida. And in that case, your brain is actively working on a change or a problem. Now let's take a look at the verb to see. Many people get confused when they hear native speakers using this verb as an action. Obviously, it has to do with the vision. And when you say, for instance, I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche. Yeah, you know that sound, don't you? I see a little silhouette of a man. But I can also use the verb to see to talk about a relationship or a meeting, especially when I'm having a date with someone. So you can say, let's suppose you're in a bar, somebody comes around and says, hey, can I buy you a drink? And you look and say, sorry, I'm seeing someone. This implies that you are turning down the offer, the invitation to have a drink with someone, to have a drink or something else with someone, obviously. You can also say, I'm seeing my dentist in a couple of hours. And that implies that you have an appointment with your dentist. Please don't go away because I still want to talk about the verbs to look, taste, smell, weigh, measure, and the so much terrible verb to be. And if you feel like sharpening your communication skills, you can find me at italki.com/Tamid and book a lesson with me. Because in fact, speaking better is a matter of cognition, and that can only be acquired through speaking and expressing your ideas, your emotions, your fears, your dreams, and criticism as well. And now let's take a look at the verb to look. When we talk about appearance, we need the word like to say that someone resembles another person. For example, I can say that my nephew looks like the president. But in terms of action, especially when you're using your eyes to focus on something, you can say, I'm looking at the map right now. Obviously, I don't want to talk about other phrasal verbs with look, for example, such as look around, look for, look forward to, look up. But the rule of thumb is that you should keep in mind the difference between a stative verb and an action verb. Now, let's have a little taste of good English.
Your English is amazing.
We all know that taste and smell, they walk together because they are part of our digestive and respiratory system. The verbs to taste and smell can be the ones responsible for quality versus action. And as for a stative verb, we use the verb to taste to talk about the quality of a certain kind of food. For example, this pasta tastes exactly like one I had in Italy a couple of years ago. Okay, so let's measure the whole thing here. The verbs weigh and measure can also be fun to use. And as for a stative verb, we can say, for example, she weighs 35 pounds and the bed measures 5 feet. So in this case, obviously, we're talking about the physical property of an object and a person. But as an action, especially when we calculate something with the help of a tool, we can say something like this. Yeah, the airport employee is weighing the suitcase right now. And now let's roll the drums for the most difficult verb on earth. To be or not to be? That is the question. When we talk about a condition or a characteristic, we can simply say, she is ill. She's not well. The congressman is stupid. This is my opinion.
De Niro?
Yeah. And as for an action like a behavior or an event that is temporarily happening, you can say, he's being a jerk. She is being ridiculous. She's behaving ridiculously right now, even if she is usually a fancy woman. So that's it. You might be asking, wow, those are really difficult to memorize. And that is where the mice will play, my friend. Don't just memorize the list. Try to simply visualize the difference. And as you speak, ask yourself before, is this a dynamic or a stative verb? And if it's a stative verb, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Simple like that. And always remember the exceptions with the verbs to have, think, and look. And those are the marks of a true native level speaker. Another good thing to do is, obviously, it's not that easy, but it's to start paying attention to native speakers in real life. Movies can help, yes, but real life is way better. Podcast is way better because podcast is real life. Most of them are real life. News is real life. And everywhere around you can get it together with native people as possible. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.